Welcome back to The Explainer. Let me ask you something. How much of your day is literally just spent wrestling with data instead of, actually using it? Well, today, we're diving into an absolutely massive leap in technology. We're talking about the monumental jump from those basic everyday chatbots we're all used to, straight to complex, autonomous digital workers that are, literally as we speak, reshaping entire enterprises. So, in a recent open text executive playbook, they dropped a pretty wild quote. It's actually from the villainous Agent Smith in The Matrix. He says, "Never send a human to do a machine's job." Kind of provocative, right? But honestly, it perfectly sets the tone for what we're talking about today. We really need to completely rethink our relationship with technology. I mean, it's time to stop serving our tools and finally start letting the machines handle the heavy lifting.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The evolution of AI. 2. Enter the digital worker. 3. The multi-cloud archipelago. 4. Security is job 1. 5. Elevating the employee experience. And finally, 6. A new era of work. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The evolution of AI, moving past the chatbot. Okay, so to really understand where we're headed, we first need to ground ourselves in how these tools actually function today. Drawing on this really great framework from tech educator Jeff Su, let's just walk through the 3 distinct levels of AI. Level 1 is your large language model, or LLM. These are pretty passive, like you ask it to draft an email and it does it, but it can't say check your calendar because it's just sitting there waiting for your prompt. Now, Level 2 introduces AI workflows. This is where a human programs a predefined path, basically telling the AI, hey, always fetch my calendar data first. But here's the catch. If you suddenly ask it about the weather, it completely fails. Why? Because it can't deviate from that human script. And then we get to Level 3, the AI agent. At this level, the AI actually becomes a fully autonomous decision maker. Now, the crucial point here is understanding the actual mechanic that creates this third level. It's usually built on something called the React framework. This is the core configuration that magically turns a rigid workflow into a dynamic agent. It literally replaces the human decision maker with an AI that can iteratively reason about an end goal, figuring out exactly what tool it needs for the job, and then actually act on it. It just loops through this process, reasoning and acting completely on its own until the job is perfectly done. It's pretty amazing. Section 2. Enter the digital worker, scaling up to the enterprise. So now that we kind of grasp the micromechanics of how a single agent thinks and acts, what exactly happens when we deploy these agents across an entire business? Well, the answer is the digital worker. And to be clear, we aren't talking about physical robots walking around the office. We're talking about highly sophisticated software agents automating multi-step, really complex problems with absolutely zero human intervention. Freeing human knowledge workers from all those tedious tasks, like endless data wrangling, that actually unlocks our true potential. It finally allows us to focus entirely on high-level strategy and real innovation. Section 3, the multi-cloud archipelago, bridging the islands. But, of course, there's a catch. To actually do their jobs, these digital workers have to navigate the modern business infrastructure. And traditionally, organizations suffer from what we call isolated data islands. These are restrictive, siloed platforms where valuable insights are just trapped. The solution OpenText champions is something called the multi-cloud archipelago. Think of it as an agile, interconnected internet of clouds, where data environments are fully connected and easily navigable by our new AI agents. The bridge connecting all these islands, it's a zero-copy data approach. See, instead of duplicating sensitive files and constantly moving them all over the internet, which, by the way, creates massive security risks and absolutely bloats your storage, this infrastructure allows AI agents to directly access the essential truths right where they already live. It's seamless integration, happening at both the application and the infrastructure layers. Just to put this into perspective, consider the sheer scale we're dealing with here. In the OpenText ecosystem alone, we are talking about 30 million business documents, 2 billion lines of code, 1 billion customer interactions. I mean, human oversight is physically impossible at this staggering scale. If you actually want to connect the dots in an environment this vast, AI agents aren't just a nice-to-have luxury anymore. They are an absolute necessity for sure. Moving on to Section 4, Security is Job 1, the new battlefield. Now, whenever we talk about scaling up these interconnected clouds and deploying autonomous AI everywhere, we absolutely have to address the elephant in the room, protecting an organization's most valuable proprietary gift, its data. Think about it like this. How do you find a needle that's been broken into tiny pieces and scattered across totally different haystacks? Because honestly, that perfectly describes the reality of modern multi-cloud complexity. A traditional, human-led cybersecurity team simply cannot monitor billions of daily events fast enough to piece together these incredibly sophisticated threats. Let's ground this whole theoretical discussion in some harsh reality for a second. Recent major data breaches have been nothing short of devastating. We're talking millions of user records exposed, sensitive patient biometrics stolen, massive amounts of financial data exfiltrated. It's bad. But the hard truth is that proper information management, paired with the right autonomous tools, could have actually prevented these disasters. So, to secure the modern enterprise, organizations are deploying what's known as an extended detection and response, or XDR, strategy. Basically, this involves ingesting data across the entire field of vision, using AI to detect anomalies among literally billions of events, and then responding automatically using scripted, autonomous playbooks. Make no mistake, folks, we are officially in a machine versus machine war, where AI agents have to act on threats at speeds that humans simply cannot match. Deploying these incredibly robust digital defenses is really the only way to secure that digital archipelago we talked about. By heavily utilizing AI-powered threat hunting, adopting zero-trust architectures, and shifting away from easily stolen passwords over to biometrics, organizations can actually hunt down bad actors and completely shut them out before the damage is even done. All right, Section 5, Elevating the Employee Experience, the AI Help Desk. Okay, let's step away from all that heavy back-end infrastructure for a minute. How does this actually impact the human workers? Well, digital native employees demand instant, omni-channel support nowadays, right? I mean, nobody wants to wait 3 whole days for a password reset IT ticket to clear just to get back to work. By deploying agentic AI to transform the corporate help desk, companies can actually unify HR, IT, and supply chain services into one simple, plain language conversation. And the results? They're wild. Frontline staff costs drop by 25%, 40% of calls get deflected straight to self-serve portals, and first-time resolutions jump to over 80%. It's an absolute game changer for both morale and productivity. And finally, Section 6, a new era of work, trust, and transformation. We've definitely covered a ton of ground today, bringing together everything from micro-level AI agent mechanics all the way to vast multi-cloud architecture and the human experience. But as we integrate these unbelievable tools, there's one final hurdle, and it's a big one: trust. Actually, a recent paper published in the Management Information Systems Quarterly Journal highlighted exactly this. As we deploy these digital workers, successfully building a network of trust between human domain experts and their new autonomous AI counterparts is absolutely critical to making this entire ecosystem function. Because ultimately, this whole transition from passive AI tools to fully autonomous digital workers, it fundamentally restructures both human potential and business architecture. Mastering these AI agents and multi-cloud strategies is going to elevate our productivity so much. It's going to allow us to finally stop wrangling data and start focusing our energy on building a better, way more innovative future. So I want to end our explainer today with this pretty challenging question. Are you actively building the digital worker, or are you still just catering to your tools? I really encourage you to rethink your entire approach to technology, and honestly, your own daily workflows. It is officially time to let the machines do the work. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and I'll catch you on the next one.